Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, as we start off a new year by trying to point the blame at a certain killer here in the courtroom, as Emma has very much said there's a contradiction here, and Phoenix agrees, as he says there must be a contradiction here somewhere. Indeed there is. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone, as we have Lana to testify. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Let's skip back a bit. So this might be it. To write a name on something, it kind of has to be a little bit whole.
Objection!
It really does. Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction? In my testimony? The one where we thought you were going to lie because we know that, we know you're lying? Who'd have thought? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. Ah! He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. He could have, but he'd have to be really good at jigsaw puzzles while dying. Order! Order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. Jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. Oh, did you? All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't Chief Prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination, though I think I know what tree I'm barking up. Well, let's begin with pressing, just to make sure that isn't some kind of criteria. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. I'm sure you did, in the complete darkness. So the jar was already broken? It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier. It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case. My case is pretty good, thank you. But not as feeble as the judge's judgment, indeed. You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. But you still saw the blood. So, you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps my case. Lana, you'd do that for me? It seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. This is what I'm going for, but let's press this one as well. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. Now this is the one I think that something's up with. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. You had a flashlight, didn't you? Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go because you expect to see bloodstains everywhere. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. No, you didn't. That really is my statement then. You did not get every last piece. We know you didn't get every last piece. And this, again, is the evidence we need. Miss Skye, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the Chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. In fact, not rubbed off. Which means it was removed before you got in the room. Which means you weren't first on the scene. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece?
Objection!
It wasn't in the evidence list, it wasn't in the evidence locker. I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective.
That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once waited an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe that?
Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken.
Oh, that?
There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness.
I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant at the time he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar?
Well, Phoenix, interjecting, the question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that?
Stop making excuses for your friend. No! Wait, I'm not the one on trial here.
But you're making defenses for someone who's not here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence.
But why would Chief Gant do that?
In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear?
What happened afterwards?
Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the Chief's puppet. Don't bleed again. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the Chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own clients.
I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth.
Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap?
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright?
Lana may be right after all.
What do you mean, Wright?
So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright?
Miss Skye, please testify once more.
But
if evidence was fabricated behind your back,
then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall
might also be a lie.
But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall.
Miss Skye, if you will.
I can't.
There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. We've hit the jackpot though, I think. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth.
Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw.
All right, the witness may testify once more for the final time.
Okay then, our next bit of the testimony. What are we going to do now, of course? That's the question. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor's sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I raised all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent.
Unbelievable! The body was impaled on the armor's sword? You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof.
Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning.
What? What? To me?
It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. You said you took a photograph. Yeah, you took a camera with you. A photograph isn't a camera. I don't know why I said that first. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture.
I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Okay, well, the only thing I received from her, or more to the point from Gumshoe, this morning was the book on evidence law. Of which we can check it in a different way than before. So evidence law. We can examine the back. Not the spine, however, or anything else. Or even the fact that it's evidence law. But for some reason we can examine the back picture. Oh no, there's a picture in the picture. Or there's a picture in the spine of the book. Or in the fold of the book. The cover of the book, that's the one. Hey, there's a picture here. Oh. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I rearranged everything. I wasn't finished looking at that picture then because I noticed something obvious as hell. Lana's picture inserted into the court record. Mr. Wright, that piece cut out from his vest. Could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe? What's this? Indeed. This is a handprint, isn't it? It is indeed. Well, that puts you as it. That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whosoever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints? They're yours, Emma? Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Breathe, Mr. Wright, breathe!
Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well. Defense may now begin its cross-examination. So we get to work yet again.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on...
Hi? Come now, Archie. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant. What? Now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense.
You refuse the right to testimony, sir. Get out.
Objection!
Exactly.
I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort.
This must be that risk we were talking about earlier.
Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements at all. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence? No, you can't. You're not part of this trial in that sense. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't. But someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is that true, Mr. Wright?
If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer.
Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries.
That's not as bad as going down as a murderer and getting killed.
What do I do now? I'd better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision.
Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall?
Well, a second ago we said,
if I present this evidence, Emma's doomed. Obviously, we cannot show it. And the main reason for that is because Gant wants us to. It's all played out for us. Everything has been said for us of what to do at this point. We cannot show the evidence because this is Gant's trap. This is Gant's final piece. This is Gant's final play. Deny it now. Hey, they've all forged evidence. They've all concealed stuff. I don't care if I meet the Board of Inquiries, do I? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time.
What? You lie! Chief Gant! You opened my safe! I know you took what was inside! The conclusive evidence!
I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together.
Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police,
is risking everything because he knows that he's in trouble.
have been concealing evidence.
Indeed, he has. And now we are as well. Well, aren't we a merry band of evidence concealers and possible fraudulent evidence presenters? Yeah, Edgeworth on that half is kind of by accident, but still, we are very much a troupe. A courtroom of people who go against the law. Or are we? Find out next time on Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney as we game the system to allow us to win the case. I'm pretty sure is the line we're going down. Gant's trap averted? Find out next time. Bye-bye.